it's just weird with certain music. They'll
Yeah,
like kick you
yeah.
out and stuff.
Oh, for like
Copyright infringement.
copyright stuff. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I played like one or two songs and it booted me out. But
Yeah.
other than that, it was good. And then it sucks because then you gotta reopen your room
Okay.
and get everybody to jump back in there. But everybody's like looking for you. You know what I mean? So your room instantly. If you have 50 people in your room, when they kick you out, then you just pop back in, and all of a sudden there's like 35, 40 all there in just like a minute.
Okay. So you don't lose too much then.
Nah, but you gotta like restart it. It's kind of a pain. And then if you get kicked out, you can't repost the video. It doesn't give you an option to do that.
Okay.
So if you stop it on your own, then you can repost it on your story, and it's
Okay.
there in your story for like whatever, a good amount of time or whatever.
Okay.
So, or probably like 24 hours, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, okay. I see Leah's connecting.
Yeah, Leah's in there.
Girl.
Corona sneezing on the
My
Corona.
permit is like too small.
It was fun though. It was fun though. So mission was accomplished. That's the main thing. I was just trying to have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Now, when you go on live, does it do it on Facebook simultaneously, or are they?
There's no way to do that unless you got to do it on two phones.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that though this week.
Okay.
I'm gonna use like my wife's phone, and we're
Right.
gonna go live on Facebook from like one angle, and then another angle. And then you have the wheels there, and just be live on both at the same time. So that's gonna be cool.
Man, you know what I've been thinking about is I'm part of this a board for this business board, the Eastside Area Business Association. And,
yeah.
I've been trying to, I haven't approached them with this yet, but I know we have like a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants and stuff that have been hit hard. And I was thinking like, man, maybe I wonder if there's a way to do like almost like a Zoom or live Facebook live telethon type thing where, you throw a link out there and you get a bunch of cats trying to, raise some money. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I don't know how that would work or how that would look, but it's something I've been thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
how could we get back? You know what I'm saying? And how many people could you get to do that?
Obviously, maybe like, some events and stuff at places like when things open back up. You know what I mean? I think business is going to be booming for a lot of places.
Hold on, I'm going to unmute you. I just want to make sure just us two are, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just want to make sure just us got the audio. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to want to go out. Well, no, what I was thinking was if there's a way, because I think we're going to be locked down for at least they're talking about it's not going to get bad for another 2 weeks. What I was trying to brainstorm on is there a way to do a virtual one where like, if DJ D Mills spun, you spun some records for 30 minutes, and then like maybe Maria Issa or somebody does a performance, from you know what I'm saying, and like you get all these.
Yeah, another dude asked me about that, but where would you do that, or everybody does it from their own thing, and then they would.
Yeah,
we could maybe
think of it like
probably
like on a Zoom call right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like Twitch or something. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah, where you can get, because what you need is like, what's cool about Zoom is like, as the host, you can kind of mute people, unmute people. So then your host would be able to kind of control the audio. I'd be like, yo, here we go on a set with, so-and-so's rapping, so-and-so's DJing. And then you have, in between you're saying, hey, go to our, GoFundMe account for the East Side or for St. Paul or whatever the cause is, you know what I'm saying? For healthcare workers, shit, they might need help right now. I don't know, but it was just something I've been brainstorming on for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea though.
We'll wait like 3 more minutes and we'll get a couple more people in here and then we'll get going. And just so everybody knows, I got everybody muted right now. So if you guys have any questions or something you want to say, you can type into the chat box. If you go to the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to bring up a chat box And you can type any questions or something you want to put in there. We'll be taking questions in the last 15 minutes or so of the interview here. So please feel free to type in any questions you have, and we'll ask those and get those questions answered for you guys.
Word up, word up.
I know I got a couple more people that said they were joining here. So we got Stephen,
That's what's up.
we got Trace, we got Leah Jeffries in the house. We got Terry. Terry's from LA. T-Funk's from LA, all the way out there in Venice, actually. So that's dope. I don't know who's on the iPhone. Who's the iPhone? Could you put in your chat who you are? I wonder, that might be Merc and Vicious, Breathe Easy Entertainment. You know those guys, right?
Yeah, of course. I know those guys.
Yeah. That might be them. I don't know. Let me check my phone and see if anybody's trying to get in here, messaging me.
All right. Yeah, I threw some posts out there.
Yeah. Well, my goal was 20, so we'll see what we got. Right now we're at 6. We're at 8 total, me and you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Sure.
And again, I'm recording this, and then we'll put it up on a YouTube channel. That I got the YouTube channel, but I haven't just set everything up for just the podcast channel yet. So I'll shoot this out to my video editor. We'll have a nice intro on it, and then we'll have that put up on YouTube. And then I'll also be taking the audio and making it into a podcast. I just got to figure out how to get it on like the Spotify's or the other ones like that. So I think Michael is, I'm not mistaken, he might be from Orlando. Michael, are you from Orlando, my friend? Florida? I know he just popped on. I think we had met in another Zoom chat that I had with the dude. And I think he's a DJ and event promoter out in Orlando, Florida. Yep, there he goes in the chat box. Yep. Welcome, brother. Welcome, man. Great to have you. So yeah, we got someone from Orlando, got somebody from Venice, so that's dope.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah. My guy Trace there, he's from Louisiana originally. He's actually someone you might want to talk to down the road. He's finishing up recording school, and he's like a sound guy, man, like just like a total sound nerd. So if you're ever looking for engineers or something like that.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Doing some video stuff. All right, Keon just popped in. What's up, Keon? How you doing, man? Just so you guys know, we have you muted. For now. At the end of the thing, we'll open it up for questions. If you have questions, you can put it right in the chat box. As we're talking, you can, if you have any questions or pressing thing you need to get off, you can say, just let me know. I'll try to get down there and take a look. Another thing you can do is if you put your video on, that would be great, because then if you want to wave your hands and say, hey, I got something to ask or something like that, or add, then we can see you, and we also bring a little more of a vibe to what we got going on here. Thank you, Michael. So don't be afraid to show those lovely faces out there. All right, man. So we're gonna kick everything off. I want to welcome all of you here that decided to join us for the I would say the first official Permanent Lifestyle podcast and Zoom call. Permanent Lifestyle is kind of based on something that I've been going through, because for some of you guys that don't know me, I was pretty fucked up in life and running the streets and doing a lot of foul shit. And over the course of time, I've just made changes to my life, but they've been permanent changes. And probably one of the most recent changes is I changed my diet up. And I was talking to somebody at the time, and they're like, wow, wait, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm dieting. And then it dawned on me that a diet, that's a temporary thing. When you say you diet, that really means subconsciously you're going to go back to eating like you did before. So I was like, no, man, you know what? This is a permanent lifestyle change. I'm going to be eating like this the rest of my life. So the whole thing about a permanent lifestyle change is just like, it's about positivity, consuming positive energy, positive content. And that's what I want to do with this podcast and these Zoom calls is I want to have like influential people, that are out in the community, that are successful, and kind of share their knowledge and share their experiences with us, and kind of create that permanent lifestyle, those permanent lifestyle habits and traits and things that you need to kind of have that. So I hit up my boy DJ D Mill this week, and I was like, "Yo, man, would you be willing to come on and do a live Zoom talk and tell us about your journey and kind of the skills that you need to get there?" And he was down. So just real briefly, man, I grew up with D Mill. When we were in junior high, I remember I met him and his twin brother. For you guys that don't know, he has a twin brother, Eddie Miller. And we met. I used to meet them at Wooddale Skating Rink in Woodbury, man. And I remember that was like when hammer pants were in style. And I remember dancing with them dudes at the sock hop, and it was, we were like having dance offs and shit. It was pretty crazy, right? So, he's definitely always been into the hip hop scene, even as a young dude. We grew up together, junior high, high school, the whole nine. So, and I've kind of just watched him go from just kind of DJing little shitholes on the east side of St. Paul to, DJing at, major events, major boxing events that are on like Fox, sports. So we're going to talk a little bit today about how he got to that point. So we'll get into that right now. So everybody welcome, give a virtual clap to my man David D. Miller from Go 95.3 FM. He's also a Shadyville DJ, Bel Air Bottle Boy, and also the owner and the creator of SB Style, St. Paul Style Productions. So right. Give it up to David Miller there, man.
Give it up to y'all for coming to hang out with us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We got some more people joining, so that's awesome. I see Beecher's in there.
Yep.
So David, I know your story a little bit, but why don't you tell us, what was it like for you growing up on the east side? What were your beginnings? What was your home life like?
My home life was happy. Full of like ups and downs though. Like a lot of people like that might have grew up on the east side or who were broke when they grew up. My mom was a single mom. I had 2 brothers, so it was 3 of us. And we just made it happen. My mom worked a lot, worked days, worked nights, and my older brother ended up basically like raising me and Eddie, my twin brother that you had just mentioned or whatever. So our older brother kind of ended up raising us, and it was at that period, when hip hop and all that was really getting going. So when I was a little kid, I was exposed to breakdancing, graffiti, DJing, the beats, all of that, the music, the culture, like really young. So that was like a lot of my memories on the east side was that hanging at the bus stop, going downtown St. Paul, going down the street to Hazelwood Projects. I could tell you, I had hundreds of friends that lived down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I grew up right on 3rd Street in St. Paul.
Okay. And so was it my next question was, how did you get into hip hop music? So I guess, was that because, you were, with having a single mom and probably kind of left alone with your brother? Was that kind of your escape? Was the music and the culture to kind of like, I'm not getting everything, it's not like a fully stacked home and I got a lot of free time on my hands. I grew up to a single mom too, so she was always working, you know what I'm saying? And I was always...
You know what it is? I was a latchkey kid from kindergarten on. I mean, I remember being home alone from kindergarten on until my brother got out of school or he would be there. If he wasn't, we all just took care of each other. And I mean, yeah, we had a lot of free time. We had the cardboard in the basement, and the boom box and all that. I mean, I have a lot of great childhood memories, but then, there's things like, I live in Woodbury now and I have 3 kids. I've been able to provide a totally different lifestyle for my family than what I had. Is one better than the other? I don't know. But, I remember being a happy kid, but, I also remember having like powdered milk and, government cheese and, one night a week was, I always grilled cheese. Another night of the week was peanut butter jelly. you know, tacos one night. My mom had a routine, but she always made it through, man. My mom worked really hard, and I got a lot of respect for her. She ended up being a nurse practitioner in the end when she retired, but yeah, we stuck together hard. We stuck together hard, and you know, thankfully, when I was in my teens, she met my stepdad, and then into the household and added a different element of guidance, and then obviously another income and stuff. So
Yeah.
things did get better, you know.
Yeah.
And by the time I was in like junior high, high school, I had a decent life. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep. So you remember you saw like you're in the basement, you're breaking, like did you like grow up watching like Beat Street and breaking? Because I remember for me, the first time I was kind of exposed to breakdancing outside of the street, but like because I used to see dudes doing it on the street, but like where I could like watch it was like going to the video rental store and watching breaking and Beat Street. I used to every Friday I would rent those movies to the point my mom wouldn't let me rent them anymore. Was that how you were?
Them movies, them were always out. Them movies were always out. I remember when Run DMC Tougher Than Leather came out. That video was always out. We used to go up to Signal Hills and get. Yeah, actually, my older brother took me to Beat Street in the movie theater and like got us in there, and I watched that in the movie theater. And that was like a really cool memory. I don't remember if it was Breaking 1 or 2, but I remember seeing one of the Breaking movies in the movie theater too. We took the number 20 bus out to the movie theater, watched it. It was awesome. It was awesome. That was really, really cool to see hip hop culture explode, you know, and then especially like, like when Wild Style came out, I mean, that changed everything, and everybody kind of like bit off of that, and then that kind of what Beat Street is like a bite off of Wild Style. You ever seen Wild Style, the movie?
I think so. Yeah.
That was the original graffiti breakdance movie.
Okay.
I think it was like '79. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So I know that you had coming up, you had a rap group. Tell us a little bit about your rap group. How did it get started, and tell us about that.
So yeah, I had a hip hop group, and that actually kind of started before I even really started DJing. I was in high school, and we used to always just mess around and write raps and stuff, and yeah, just did that, man, and got down with some different people and started DJing. And there's just like a few heads, and we would write raps. And when I started DJing, we just rap over instrumentals, and ended up buying some beat machines. Got with a few producers. I got with a producer named Blom from the Los Nativos. He was the original members of Headshots, which was the collective before Rhymesayers, and then he joined Rhymesayers too. But he like mentored me and kind of like showed me like the basics of like, you know, beat making and production, how to count bars, different stuff like that. And I was learning all that at the same time as I was learning to DJ.
Yeah. And then so you're the hip. So it sounds like your group is kind of what got you into DJ. So like, why did you become a DJ? What was it about being a DJ that drew you to that particular profession?
So going back to when I was growing up, my older brother exposed us, you know, to all the hip hop elements and all that. He was in a breakdance crew. They were the St. Paul chapter for Wild Style. So the Wild Style Breakers were out in New York City, and we were talking about the movie, but there was also like a crew called a Wild Style, and then they started having different chapters, kind of like I don't know if anybody's familiar with like how Zulu Nation did, and then they had like different Zulu chapters. It'd be like an Orlando Zulu chapter, a Minneapolis Zulu chapter, LA, and they had different chapters. So Wild Style had a chapter here, and my brother and his friends were the St. Paul like chapter, and then there was other breaking crews like Capital City Breakers, the West Side Breakers. Those were just like some St. Paul crews and stuff. So when he would bring us around his friends and all that, granted he was 6 years older, his friends were into DJing and graffiti and all of that. And I saw that. And tragically, in '89, my brother passed away from a car accident. So in that period between '89 and about '95 to '96, hip hop was evolving. There was like the New Jack Swing era, breakdancing was out, all of that was like kind of gone. And then we got into the '90s and the golden era of hip hop, and that's really when hip hop really, for me, exploded with like Wu-Tang Clan and just like LL Cool J and different MCs and different being on the radio and all that. Man, I was just drawn into it, man. Honestly, I was just drawn into it.
Yeah.
From my brother's friends and stuff, and he took me to a party where I saw a DJ. Some of his friends were DJs. They had turntables. So long story short, when I turned 18, I got my brother's insurance money from the car accident when he passed away. And my older brother, passed away in a tragic car accident. And my mom took the insurance money from his car and put it in 2 trust funds, one for me and one for my brother Eddie. So when I turned 18, my mom gave me the money and she's like, you can use it for school, you can use it for whatever you want. You want to buy a vehicle, whatever. And it was roughly like, I don't know, maybe like $5,000 or something, maybe less, maybe like $4,000. And right when I got the money, I went to the only place in town where you could buy turntables at the time, Metro Sound.
Yep.
Went and I bought a pair of turntables, 2 Technic 12 turntables, and a mixer, an amp, and 2 speakers. Okay. And I bring all that shit home, and I was still in high school, and set it all up in my basement. My mom came home from work. She you did what? I literally spent almost every last dime on my first setup, and she got it, and actually right out the gate, my mom gave me all her Motown records, and I had my brother's records, and then I just started the record store and buying records. So literally, but right when I got out of high school, I had turntables. And I had a decent record collection because I had all the old stuff. Go to Records Friday and spend every dime I had getting all the new records.
Yeah.
And that led to the record pool and stuff. But I just had this drive to become a DJ. I just wanted to do it, man. I really did. And from there, like, yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that was tied in? For me, I didn't know that. First of all, I didn't know you had an older brother that passed away, so I'm sorry to hear that. Second of all, do you feel like that might be your inspiration because, like, you're basically from him passing away, that's what started your career. It's almost like, yo, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not only for myself, but he's the one that introduced me to this. It's his death, basically, kind of that funded this, and I can't just get this equipment and fuck it off. I got to make this happen.
That was the mindset going into it. It was like my brother gave me this gift now from up above, and that like I tell you, this is the 100% real story, and it changed my life. And I started DJing, and it didn't happen overnight, but it changed my life. I swear to God, and that's like how I got in the game, and yeah. I mean, God bless my brother. Yeah. I don't think I've let him down.
Well, let's talk about that. So we're talking about now we're in the game. Now you're a DJ. What was your very first gig? What was the very first gig that you remember? Your first paid gig, like the first time someone gave you, like,
was a New Year's Eve party. So out the gate, Eddie and I, when we were in high school, we'd go to parties, we'd throw parties, and people do different stuff like that. Right about a year after high school, we decided we were going to throw a New Year's Eve party. I had the turntables, I had the records, I had the crew, I had like the couple guys that were MCs. It was my guy Jesse, Peter Fresso, my guy Jackson. They were like rappers, and I was kind of a rapper DJ or trying to be. We had like little rhymes. We had little routines. We'd sit in my basement and practice all the time, all the time, every weekend, every day for me. And so we decided we're going to throw a New Year's Eve party. And we went down and we rented out this coffee house. And this coffee house is still there. It's downtown St. Paul, right next to the Saints Stadium. It's Black Dog Coffee House, I think.
I think I might
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I might know what you're talking about.
It's like this warehouse. It was Copernicus Coffee House then. But we went in there and we asked them if we could rent it out. Now, granted, I don't even know if I was 19 years old. But we went in there, we rented that thing out for New Year's Eve, I think for like $500. So we gave the owner $500. And they just gave us the whole warehouse space. So then we bring in the speakers, the turntables, everything. I had a friend who was 21 years old. We went out to Wisconsin, got 8 kegs. We bring them all back. We had a truck. We loaded it up. My brother, we had I think there was one guy that helped, and my brother and this other guy worked the door, charged a cover charge. We did a flyer. At the time I was going to school. I still have the flyer somewhere. I was going to school at St. Paul College. And back then it was called St. Paul Technical College, whatever. But I did a flyer and stuff, and we promoted it. You know, I did a flyer, went to Kinko's, we printed it up, handed them out, told all our friends, and we did a big-ass New Year's Eve party. And there must have been a couple hundred, maybe 200 or 300 people there.
Okay.
And we charged the cover, and I played records. I wasn't very good, but it was a crazy party. There was no problems, no issues. Everybody loved it. They had a blast. It was basically like a lot of our St. Paul and East Side friends, and then other people. That was on New Year's Eve, and I woke up New Year's Eve day, and I think I had like $350 or $500. There was 3 of us though. So it was me, Eddie, and my friend Benny, who helped, like, kind of like, I think Benny had the bread to buy the beer or like pay for the spot or something. So Benny was in the mix too. And that party was called St. Paul Style. And that essentially was the jump off of our production company. One successful party. Got a little taste of it, you know. So here I am counting $500. My first gig, my mind was blown. I was like, wow, this is the life for me. But I mean, granted,
you got paid to play music. You know?
Every gig wasn't like that the next few years. But that little taste of success gave me enough energy to want to like keep doing it, want to keep doing this. And it instilled that drive in me that lives, that passion.
So let's talk about that. So, I mean, that was your first gig. It went well, but I'm sure there was some clunkers in between that. And so to date, you're talking about your first gig, but to date, what was your most, like, what's the biggest thing you DJ'd where you were like, fuck, man, this is big? You know, what was that moment for you? Man,
there's been a lot of moments like that. Like, kind of when you sent me an email with that question in there, there's been a lot of moments like that. I would say around 2003 when I was at Bora Beach Club in Mazatlan, Mexico, and we sold out the front of it, the back of it, the middle of it. We had 3,500 spring break kids all just dancing. I'm on the turntables on a stage that's probably 10 feet in the air, that only me and the turntables. That was a moment for me where I was like, wow. Or playing at the Target Center, you know, opening up.
What did you do at the Target Center? What were you playing there? What was the gig?
I did the Millennium Tour there last year, where like it was like Pretty Ricky, Lloyd.
Yeah, like all like old school R&B guys from the 2000s.
Yeah, and it was dope. It was dope. It was like 15,000 people in there. You know, it was fire. Wow. I opened up. It wasn't 15,000 people on when I opened. But right. That was dope. I mean, there's been a lot of gigs like that. You know, like when Puff Daddy came to Epic. When Puff Daddy came to Epic, that was like a super dope moment. I remember being there, and you feel like these were like shifting moments in your career. When I first got on the radio, that was like a shifting moment. I first got on KDWB for this Thursday night live broadcast, and that was a shifting moment for me when I was the DJ host for Star Party. That was like a shifting moment, and that brand doesn't really align with my brand as much, as far as like what I do. But it was a big moment. It wasn't hip hop radio out here, and then when hip hop radio came out, and I was on Peter Parker's show at B96, that was a shifting moment. So I wouldn't say that there's been like one moment, but like a whole bunch of moments. And that's what I guess being like consistent, being consistent will create you more moments, like that.
So, talking about that, so consistency, do you feel like, I do, I used to work in the music business, as you know, as a producer, and I promoted some parties and some shows. And one thing I've noticed about just in our business, just music in general, it's not even just hip hop. There's a lot of irresponsible, flaky, people that just aren't about their business and aren't consistent. So what are some of the keys to your success? Your drive, your consistency. Like, what is it that you see that people can what are the parallels people can draw from like your ascension through your career to their day-to-day life? Like, give us some of your secrets.
I would say like waking up passionate, waking up thankful, being thankful for what you got, being passionate, but also having that drive to want to go to another level, to want to get, if to make more money. Obviously money's a motive, for sure. I'm just like everybody else, you definitely, care. You definitely want to grab that carrot. But I would say, being grateful for what you have too, though. You know what I mean? If you can't be thankful for what you have, how are you going to be thankful if you know what I mean? If you don't respect the things you have now, how are you going to respect things? Like if you have an apartment and your apartment's like, you treat it like shit, how are you going to get a house and, and expect your house to be nicer than your apartment? When, you know what I mean? It's just,
what do you think was like, how did you get to a point where somebody that has like a club promoter has invested, $100,000 into this club night? How did you get to the point where a business person of stature like that would trust somebody like you, some kid from the East Side? How do you get to the point where you build that kind of trust in those kind of relationships?
Right. Okay. So that goes with like promoting, building your brand, being consistent, being reliable, being the guy who's going to show up to sound check, who's not afraid to work hard, who's not afraid to promote, the guy who's not afraid to put on a good show, put himself out there. Maybe I fell on my face before, but I got back up, picked myself up, and I put on a good show every time I go on stage, every single time I go on stage. Every time I DJ a party, I put on a good show. I'm there for the people and I'm going to perform. And that really it is. Once you build a brand that people trust, promoters trust it, you know what I'm saying? So it goes in line with, man, I started out with friends and family and people from the East Side. And then I would go do parties in Minneapolis and then people would be like, oh man, he packed this place. Man, all St. Paul people, bunch of East Side. I started doing that and I would get like right pages and different little blurts here and there, and the word out, they were like, man, who's that kid from the East Side? But man, his crowd, they like to buy drinks and they tip. And it started as simple as that in the Twin Cities market with me and my brand. And that carried over into Minneapolis, where people in Minneapolis noticed, and then they were like, wow, he's got a crowd. And then the Minneapolis guys jumped in. It's not, I have a great audience in Minneapolis now. I have huge reach now with being on the radio in the afternoon. So when my name is out, it just rings bells, you can put me on anything, and it's, I have an audience, and a lot of that goes into relentless promotion on social media too. You know, it started with Facebook and then Twitter, and now Instagram is the hot spot. But being relentless all the time, every day, content. I'm not just posting vibes. I'm posting motivational stuff. I'm posting performances. Yeah, of course, like everybody else. I'm posting like stage stuff, all the shit. I'm doing videos in the studio. I'm doing stories, you know, so a flurry of all of the social media has really changed and taken it to another level, especially in like the last, like, you know, 5 to 10 years. That's been a game changer.
I got a question for you. How important is it for people that are struggling in life or just want to make a change for the positive? And this will probably correlate to your success. How important is it to have the right people in your circle? Like, was there a point in your career where, first touch on how important it is, and second, touch on a point where you, in your career, where maybe you had to look around and say, I might need to distance myself from this person because this person is not really in line with where I want to go?
Definitely. It's major having the right people. Like, I was very lucky because I started out with my brother. We threw that first party and we became partners. So my brother was essentially like, almost like a road manager or a stage manager for me. He would take a lot of booking duties, and he would also collect money. He would look out for me and in our better interests. And he benefited and profited from that too, obviously, because we're partners. Yeah. And he helped me build my brand and our brand, SP Style. So having the right people is very, very key. Having a team. You know, I don't think I could have been that successful or got this successful without my brother and then other key people in the line, like booking agents, people like, is Beecher still on this call? Beecher's in here. People like Beecher were there right out the gate. Met him quick, and he was real connected in Minneapolis and always had his foot in the door at clubs. So having that network of people consistently throwing you reliable, good gigs, you know, like we partnered with Beecher on so many things, but I also had like opportunities to get on stage with so many major artists because of my relationships, you know, that, you know, the things that open the door from that, you know. But yeah, at some point, go ahead.
I was gonna say, was there a time where you did have to reevaluate the people in your circle?
Yeah, there was, and that's when I had my hip hop group, and there was a few of us in there, and I don't want to name any cats,
no names.
Cats. You know, we had a thing going for a long time, and it was really cool. But we just kind of reached like a plateau, and it kind of stayed there. And I wanted to keep moving. I wanted to keep elevating, and I had to look in the mirror and say, like, you know, cats had their interests in mind. I had mine, but a lot of people were riding on my coattails, me and my brother's hard work and our coattails. And there's a lot of people that are around for the wrong reasons. And that's what a lot of people don't really realize in the entertainment business. And in the entertainment business and the business, there's a lot of people that could potentially be there for the wrong reasons. You know, they're drugs or chicks or whatever, you know what I mean? There could be like a lot of demons and stuff. So there was a point where I had to be like, I don't think this is the road I'm taking anymore. And I quit the hip hop group, stop that. I can still continue to produce and work in the studio and make records. At that point, I put my DJ career first, and I put me first, and I never looked back, and things really took off at that point.
That was
like 12 years ago.
Was that scary for you to put yourself first?
It was a little bit scary, but it made sense. I had to evaluate. So I looked and I was like, what are the things that are making money? So I had all these different things that I was getting revenue for. and there's different things that I was putting money into, and I had to look. And I was like, wait, what's making all the money? All the money that was being made was from me. It was from all the DJ appearances that I was doing, all the parties I was doing. I had all the I had all the equipment. I had, so back in the day, it was a lot different where, you would set up and throw down your own parties, and you would still go to clubs and they'd have there too. But then a lot of times you could we'd rent out of space, and still to this day, I have a few signature events I do every single year. And I kind of go into venues and take those over, like a New Year's Eve or a Halloween party, or for instance, like my famous boat party. And I've been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah.
I rent out the riverboat, bring speakers, book all the Ds, sell tickets, and fill that motherfucker up with 600 people and float her and have a big party. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? So I had to look and figure out what was making the money, and then that made the decision for me. Like where the decision was made up for me, I think. And then there was other people that were just around me that were in it for the wrong reasons. Got rid of them, dumped them, and me and my brother kept going and never looked back.
And I think, I just got goosebumps right there, when you said we never look back. I think for me, I went through something similar where I had to not just cut some people off, but literally change my way of thinking. Because what happens is when you're like in a group or you staying around a group of people, you become close. You become like fucking family. And then how do you cut your family off? How do you look somebody that you got all this time investment with and say, look, you're not on the same thing as me, and I gotta go somewhere else. And that's a tough burden, but it makes you stronger, right? Like, look at you. It sounded like from that point, you just started taking off, right?
Yeah. And I did. My DJ thing really did. And I had to focus more time on that. I had to get better at that. I had to master DJing at that point. That was the point where I really had to go in and really become good. Was I good before that? Yeah, probably. I was okay, but I wanted to be considered one of the best, I wanted to really be good at my craft and really hone in on it. And I feel like sometimes if you're doing too much or if you have too many things going on, you got to narrow it down. You know what I mean? You can't be the jack of all trades. I'd rather be known for one thing and be really good at one thing than just okay at a whole bunch of things.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you know anybody that has cut bad people out of their life that didn't go on to do better things after that point?
I don't think so.
Right. Doesn't exist. And I'm just saying that for our listeners out there, because I think one thing I'm trying to put out there is that one of the key ingredients to a permanent lifestyle change is changing what you consume. And I think oftentimes people confuse consumption with just food, right? But it's it's what you eat, it's what you watch on TV, it's what you listen to. And one of probably the most important ones is the energy of other people, right? Like if you got a bunch of, motherfuckers around you that ain't about shit, that just want to fucking get drunk and high all the time, and don't really have any goals or any future, guess what you're not going to have? You're going to share the same thing as them, right? So I'm just trying to, I want someone else, somebody like yourself who's achieved success. You didn't achieve that by, hanging around a bunch of, cats that aren't about nothing,
Yeah, and that's not to say that you can't have fun or anything, but there's definitely a time and a place for everything. I done seen so many people that were at the top of their game or at a really good level and lost it all to drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could tell you 5 or 6 sob stories about DJs, artists too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And artists that have died.
Yeah, absolutely.
And getting wrapped up in the game, wrapped up in the hype, wrapped up in the lifestyle.
Right.
So right. You do got to have some sort of what's the word? Man, what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Discipline.
Discipline. All right, discipline.
Yeah, boundaries, discipline, all that, man.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I was talking to somebody, God dang, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and he he had asked me about somebody that he felt a little suspicious about, and I was like, listen, man, you're almost 40 years old. You don't have to have anybody around you
Hell no.
that you don't want around you. Like, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You know, you're too old for that.
Yeah.
Like, who cares how that guy feels about you not wanting to be around him? You know, like, if you don't feel good about him, then you get him away from you. You know what I mean? It's not that
Man.
hard, right?
You gotta wake up and look at yourself in the mirror every day, you know.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you,
So-
you know what I mean? And man, I've been married for 16 years. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And that takes discipline in your profession, right?
hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Chicks are trying to shake you down all the time.
Right.
Why my wife's back there.
So look, I want to kind of wrap this up before we take questions. Tell us a couple things. Like, tell us what you're doing now. I know you were able to pull off the Hip Hop for Autism. Talk about that event, you know, because I think that's an amazing event that you're doing. You're giving back to the community. Maybe touch on that and some of the other things you got going on, and then we'll field some questions. So tell us what D-Mill's up to right now.
What I'm up to right now. Okay. Yeah, so we just got done with the Hip Hop for Autism. That was the 8th annual. So every year we do a autism benefit, a benefit for the Autism Society of Minnesota right here in Minnesota, and all the proceeds from that support their programs and support families right here in our home state. And anyways, we just threw a big concert and had it down at the Amsterdam. We had a lot of like business partners, and there were some corporate partners, and then obviously people came, bought tickets. We had performers. Nerdy performed. That was super dope. We had B-boys there. That was cool. That just ended. That was in February, so that was really cool. Right now, what I'm working on is, to be honest, I'm focused like right now on my radio show. That's on every afternoon, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. on 95.3. This is our 5th year on the air. Ratings have been really good. We've been consistently like a top 5 show, the Mr. Peter Parker Show. And I'm the DJ in the afternoon. They call it drive time. It's a really sought after position, and it's most listened to segment on the radio station. So that's really cool for me. But there's a lot of pressure to perform and make sure that mix is on point every single day, and so that's a big part of what I do. I also still have my recording studio open, and I'm still working and producing artists. And recently, I just produced Nerdy's record, and that came out. You might have seen him on the cover of City Pages about a month or 2 ago. Okay. Yeah, he's blowing up. He's a guy I'm working with, and I'm still working with a lot of other independent artists. Still have a studio going, and until this thing ceased, I was out in the mix, hosting and DJing at a lot of the premier events here in the Twin Cities. Yeah. April 11th, I was going to be back at the Armory. My Saturday nights at Union. We'll be back on after this break right now from the coronavirus. So yeah, I had a bomb Saturday night. Pretty much, one of the best nights in Minneapolis, period. You know, Union Rooftop. So I had that going for about 8 or 9 weeks, sold out every week up until this started. So I have that going, and summer's right around the corner. So I have a full calendar of bookings. You know, over the last few years, I've been trying to like cook up and get real hot, and it worked. And I was doing like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays. But right now, when I get back to business, I'm going to go and do like more like Friday, Saturdays, and then events, you know, and I'm going to go back to just grabbing the things that match with my brand and things I want to do, you know. Not to say that you can't just go DJ somewhere and just collect a paycheck, but that's not what I'm looking for anymore. Right. I'm looking for bigger.
You're looking for legacy now at this point, right?
Yeah. I want my Saturday night to be known legendary. Sure. I want my Friday night to be on the map. You know, I don't want to just do like some cool stuff, or I'm not DJing for a check. I'm DJing. It's like a bigger thing now.
Well, it goes to what
that's kind of like.
It kind of goes to what you were saying, though. Your theme here is consistency, right? So if you're bouncing around here and there, kind of chasing a check, how are you going to build that consistent Saturday night or Friday night and just blow it up where it's epic, where 20 years from now, people are like, yo, you remember the Union rooftops used to be off the chain. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So here's a question. We're going to field some questions now. I got one here coming in from, let's see.
Let's just start at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So we had a couple comments. All right, we got one here from Michael. As a DJ, how can I make myself available to give back to my community, such as doing gigs for charities and stuff like that? Michael's the DJ from Orlando, by the way.
Oh, cool. Well, Michael, fine. So obviously, as a DJ, you can't always like DJ for free or do stuff for free year round. But what's worked really good for me is I have a handful of things I do per year. And one is a toy drive. Now, I've been doing my toy drive for 6 years. And this year's probably the best year ever. And I got to work with my other media partners and promote it. So my advice would be, and when I got to promote it with my other media partners, that threw gas on the flames, and that allowed my toy drive to really blow up. I had probably like 500 people, like those big Glad trash bags. Probably had about 15 of those full, like the big like leaf ones. Probably had like 15, 20 of those full for the Salvation Army, or not Salvation Army, the Toys for Tots, the Marines. And this has been like probably like the 5th year we've been working with them. And so my answer though to that, I was getting sidetracked there, is that what works for me is I have a handful of things I do. Like I do maybe one fundraising or charity event per season. So I kind of just did like my spring one. Now I'm going to have one this summer, and it's going to be with my guy Kush. His dad died from Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's like this walk that they have, and we're gonna promote that, and we're gonna get proceeds for that. So that's my one that's good for this summer. Now I think I have to find one for the fall, and then in the winter I do my toy drive, and then or like around Christmas I do my toy drive, and then kind of like in the winter, spring I do my Hip Hop for Autism. So I found an event for each season that can kind of connect or hits home with you. Find something that's like that you could be passionate about, or something that means something to you, and then get with some people in your community, partner up with them. Like we partner with like the Marines for the toy drive, and that really took it to another level when we did that. And like the Hip Hop for Autism, then I had the radio station promoting that. So I had the hip hop station promoting my autism show, and I got with the Autism Society of Minnesota. So I got with the right partners that could help, drive the vehicle a little bit, So I would say find like a couple of like causes, and then get with a partner and partner on that. You know what I mean? And,
Michael,
and don't give yourself trying to do a million things, right?
I would even suggest, Michael, like right now you're in Orlando, that's an entertainment, hub. You might want to start planning something within a venue or something for post-corona, like, or even I was talking to D Mill before you guys jumped on, like, I want to try to figure out a way to do a Zoom call, like a telethon type thing where we could raise some money for maybe, hospitality workers or healthcare workers or something during this virus. So maybe that, just something to think about, like, if you hit up somebody, a club or something you've been working with in the past, and say, hey, I think this thing's gonna to mellow down in June. Let's do a free party. Because I gotta imagine you've got some gigs and a lot of brand building out of your free events, right? They're free, but you're getting a lot out of that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we got another question here from Beecher, our good buddy Beecher, another guy we grew up with, very respected here in the community. Beecher said, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years from now, both professionally and personally?
Wow. Okay. So professionally, I want to just keep building brand, and hopefully I can keep up with what I've been doing. As far as I want to still be on the radio. I want to continue my radio show for 5 to 10 years. If I can keep up the pace where I'm going for another 5 to 10 years, I'll be able to retire. And ultimately that's my goal. Do I think will I ever like quit or no? I'll probably always be in the music business, but my goal now is going to be thinking more about my legacy. Yeah, I want to continue to have my radio show for another 5 years, 5 to 10 years. You know, that's been a really quintessential part of my career now. And then now giving back and working with some other artists and then actually passing the torch or passing the baton. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that with a DJ, just to be honest, because there's no other DJs. I've been in the game for 20 years and there's no other DJs in the city that can even keep up with anybody that's not in my crew. And I'm not trying to be a cocky or anything. I'm just putting out the facts out there that I don't see a lot of up and coming DJs. Hopefully they come up. But another one of my goals is to take an artist and help develop an artist and get them on like a major label, like a Def Jam, or help them get their single to like a good level. Like a kid I was just working with over the last couple of years, KC Pluto. Now he's about to sign with Kanye West, and he's been out at the ranch, and he just dropped a song with Lil Baby. I mean, he's a good example of like somebody that's from St. Paul. You guys never heard of him, but this guy's about to blow the fuck up. He's been writing songs and stuff for people. So I want to get in the studio with more like younger artists and stuff like that, and potentially help somebody take it to another level. Like Nerdy. Nerdy is about to take off like a rocket. 2 years from now, this kid, I'm telling you guys, you know, and I'm not blowing smoke at all. He's the real deal, you know. So the next thing, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what about personally? That was the other half of the question.
Personally, I guess, you know, just maintain it, man. Could finish raising my family. You know, I have 3 kids. So personally, doing that, and, you know, not looking to cash out in 10 years, but I'm looking to kind of like switch up the pace in 10 years, you know? So personally,
you don't want to be like 55 years old DJing at fucking 4 a.m, right?
Yeah.
Not getting your crates out.
But I can definitely keep up with the kids. But you know, like when I get in 50s, I want to start wintering and, you know, down south and do some different things like that, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. All right. So we got another question for you. We got another one from Michael here, and he said, "How did you find out what your brand is? How did you find out what it is, your brand? You know, how did you find that out?"
It was just kind of like a natural evolution. It was like I knew what I was good at. You know, a lot of what my brand associated with the Wheels of Steel, you know, so it started out with just a tagline, D Mill on the Wheels of Steel. Now it's literally like everybody's like, oh, the Wheels of Steel. Some people just call me Wheels of Steel, but it goes back to DJing, and they know that I'm gonna have the turntables. So my brand is like when you see me on stage, you know I'm gonna have turntables. You know the record player is gonna be up there. It's gonna be vinyl. It's gonna be a real show on the ones and twos. So that is something with my brand. And then like building with other brands, you know that my brand is associated with the Go Radio brand. You know, like I was here when we launched the radio station. I was the first DJ that got hired. That's part of my brand. You know, like when Bel Air came into the market, I was the first Black Bottle Boy in this market. You know, I helped introduce that champagne brand that's wildly popular in this market. And it goes back to like years of like, I think find your brand. I think it will define itself. You know what I'm saying? Beecher, peace out, man.
All right, take care, Beecher. Thank you.
Thanks for rocking with us, man.
So Michael said if someone's going to ask you to define your brand, how would you describe it?
How would I describe it?
Yeah.
It's like a hip hop lifestyle brand. And that's exactly what it is. It's kind of like a hip hop lifestyle brand, a DJ lifestyle brand, you know, a little bit of nightlife, music culture, for sure.
Right. Does anybody else got any other questions before we wrap everything up? Okay, here we go. How could someone who is new to this area find a place to start putting in work in the music industry. I graduate in late June, COVID dependent, and I would love to start getting involved in helping artists with Drive. This is my guy Trace. Trace has done some video editing for me, and having talked with him, he's from Louisiana, he's from New Orleans, and when he got up here, he started working with a lot of flaky people. So just to give you a little backstory.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I would start by going to some shows. When this thing blows over, go to some shows. I would do some research on some artists. Find like some people you can connect with and build a team, and put in some work. You're gonna have to do a little bit of free work, but if you can find some good people to partner with, you know what I'm saying? Where are you graduating from again?
Let's see here.
What's your major? You said he did some film work.
I think he might be graduating from, is it IPR, Trace? IPR, yep.
Oh, from IPR?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your degree in? Is it in like engineering, recording, or just music business, like general?
I think it's in recording, if I remember correctly. My degree is in audio engineering and production.
Oh, that's dope. Well, I mean, hit me up. I mean,
Yeah,
what I would do, to be honest, I'd get my own studio. I'd get my own recording studio, even if it's at your house, and that, I mean, if you really want to be an audio engineer, there's definitely like, oh, you're building. Okay, perfect. Do that. That's what I did. And I went and bought all my own equipment. I actually got a business loan for my own equipment probably 18 years ago. And I bought all the studio equipment. I'm in my third studio now, but if you really want to engineer and stuff, you can build it, but get good at it. Build your skills up, be the master of Pro Tools or whatever you want to focus on. And then you'll have something, like if your mix is amazing, boom. If you just want to make beats, make sure your beats are off the hook. It's like supply and demand. If you have something hot, the people will, like you'll find the demand for it. You know what I'm saying? It's real niche orientated, but you could do it, man. I made a lot of my living off of engineering and producing in the studio, and that's why I still have a studio till today, because it's great, it's lucrative, and it's a great outlet. But
I got a question for
it
you.
definitely takes time. You gotta put time in, you know what I mean? Just like anything.
I got a follow-up question for you then Dino, off of what Trace is asking. You had said that go to some shows, try to hook up with some artists. What are some traits then, because you can go to a show and see an artist and he's hot, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that person is responsible. Or what should somebody be looking for if they're, checking out other artists or DJs or other music professionals? That would be an indicator that, this is somebody I could align myself with.
I would say, like, if it connects to you, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like the biggest thing. If you're promoting something, you obviously want to believe in it. You don't want to you don't really want to promote something that is trash or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say, like, definitely if you connect with it, cool. You know what I mean? Or if it's something that even see like a little bit of light there, because I've done that with artists, like my guy Absent, when I started working with him, I just saw like a little bit of talent, but we took it, we developed it and worked with him in the studio for a long time. And he was like one of the most successful artists I had forever. He signed a deal with Lil Flip, and Lil Flip bring him down to Houston. He performed at Houston Stadium with all the Houston legends, like Scarface, Bun B, all them. He went on tour. He was getting $500 a show, getting $1,000 for a feature. He got really successful, and I just saw like a little bit of talent in him. So I would say but like he lost his mind.
Right. Right.
Yeah, he lost his mind and got on drugs. And
the old.
It goes back to the thing, discipline and all that. And whatever. But I would say that, man, if you're passionate about something, that's what drives me, man, a lot is being passionate and being excited for the next thing.
Where could where could you drop maybe your email or Instagram handle in the chat box so people can follow you and link up with you?
Def- yeah, I'll
Also,
just
for
put
anybody
my
out there,
IG.
I drop my email in there for you guys. If you want to be on my email list, I'm going to start up here soon. Go ahead and shoot me an email and I'll get you on the list.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's my Instagram.
At DJ V Mill, DJ MIL. Wait, I'm sorry. At DJ DMIL. That's the Instagram handle right there.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay, Trace. I'll follow you back. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts? Any final thoughts, man? On maybe just end us off with a final word, man. On what you want to see people out here doing? What kind of energy and vibes should people be putting out here into this world, man?
I feel that. I feel that. I think just man, trying to make your mark, make your mark. Be consistent. Try to find purpose. Try to find purpose. Being happy with what you do is a major thing. That's something I try to teach my kids is that find something that you love and you probably never work a day in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you can do that or you can be passionate about something, that's really going to make the difference, man. Yeah. It really is. And that motivates you right there. If you're passionate about it, that motivates you. That motivates you. That motivates me to work 60, 70 hours a week all the time. I've been working nonstop since this whole thing started, even though all the clubs and everything shut down. I'm still doing stuff. I'm doing virtual parties. I was in the studio. I'm still cooking up behind the scenes. Yeah. My radio show is still on every single day. So even though I'm quarantined, I'm here at the crib, I might be in my personal studio by myself or with one other person or, I haven't been going to the radio station directly, but hopefully here very soon I'll be able to go. But I had to lay low because I was traveling. So I had to stay quarantined because I was went to the airport and all that shit.
Right. Yeah. Mexico. Yeah. I was talking to some friends in Mazatlan. I was like, how many cases they got out there? They were like none in Mazatlan and 3 in all of Sinaloa. I was like, damn, I wish I'd have just stayed my ass out there.
Non-existent.
I know.
So, but thanks for having me on, Will.
Yeah, man. I want to say thank you, man, for tuning in. I want to say thank you to everybody that jumped in on the call today. Brandy, I'm sorry you got in towards the end of the call, but we'll get you on the next one next week. Next week, I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman by the name of Mike Lewis. He owns a business called 3P24 Boxing, and his gym, he started training people in his garage in Woodbury 10 years ago, and then he opened up his retail location, a really nice, brand new facility in Woodbury off of Radio Drive, and we're going to talk to him.
I know what that is. That's his spot.
Yeah, that's the spot, man. Yeah, so he was people in his garage, bro, kind of like you, started, in a certain spot, and he fulfilled this dream of having this fitness center, 24, think about this, it's a 24-hour fitness and boxing gym, so it's like anytime fitness mixed with boxing, right? And we're going to talk to him about how he got to that point, but then how is he, innovating his work to keep himself and his business relevant? Well, he can't open his gym, right? Because like a restaurant and fitness places and hair salons, they can't work right now, right?
No.
So he's been doing a lot of stuff on Instagram and Facebook to try to just keep everything going. So we're going to talk to him about that. So everybody that's on this call today, please tune in next week. Shoot me an email or jump on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at Vivid Concepts Media. I think everybody here is already there. Brandy, I know we know each other from LinkedIn. And I want to just say thank you for everybody for joining. Have a great, great rest of your Sunday. I hope your days are filled with positivity, productivity, and love, man. Take care, everybody. Be safe.
Yo, peace out, you guys. Thanks for listening and all that, and appreciate it.
All right, y'all.
Peace out.
Yeah.